Hi, I'm Jennifer Taylor, and this is how working as a receptionist led me to change the entire tech industry. But more than that, it's a story about how big ideas can come from people nobody pays attention to. For 3 years, I worked at the front desk at Taylor Technologies, my dad's software company. You might think that sounds strange, especially since I have a computer science degree from MIT and I'm the CEO's daughter. But my dad had his reasons. You need to learn humility, Jay, he told me when I asked for a job as a developer. Starting at the bottom builds character. What he really meant was that he didn't believe in me. I was always the creative one, the girl who made indie games over the summer while my brother Michael chased fancy internships. Every day, I said hello to important people in suits, set up meetings I couldn't join, and had my ideas ignored. Just forward the calls, Jen, they'd say, barely looking at me as they walked by. But they didn't know the truth. As the receptionist, I saw and heard everything: visitors, complaints, problems, and all the feedback from customers. I had a front row seat to what was really going on in the company. In the quiet times between calls and meetings, I coded. What started as a small tool to help manage guests and schedules grew into something much bigger. I started seeing patterns where customers were upset, where things weren't working well. So I built small tools to fix those problems: automatic scheduling, tracking visitors, predicting customer service needs. By my second year, I had created a smart system that could completely change how companies talk to and help their customers. But my dad didn't notice. He was too busy getting Michael ready to run the company. Michael had a Harvard MBA, but he couldn't even write a simple computer program. Still, he talked big about business and strategy. Then everything changed. One day, I heard my dad and Michael talking in a meeting. "Having your daughter as a receptionist looks bad," Michael said. "We need to seem more professional, especially with the Microsoft deal coming up." Dad agreed. "You're right. It's time Jen found something else. She's had her fun." The next day, Dad called me into his office. "Jennifer, we need to talk about your future," he said. He told me it was time to move on, that it was for my own good. He even offered me money to help with the transition. What he didn't know was that the night before, I had filed patents for my project. As I left his office, carrying a small box of my things, I smiled, because in 1 month, the big Microsoft meeting they were so excited about would take a surprising turn. The next few weeks flew by. While Dad and Michael got ready for their important meeting, I was finishing my project. My little apartment became my base of operations. I had 3 monitors set up, all showing parts of my AI system, which I called Iris, short for Intelligent Response Integration System. I thought it was funny to name it after Iris, the messenger of the Greek gods, like the ultimate receptionist. Then one day the email arrived. That one email changed everything. "Dear Miss Taylor, I've reviewed your proposal and prototype for Iris. Your use of AI in customer service is exactly what we've been looking for. Can you meet next Thursday at 2 p.m.? Best regards, Sarah Chin, VP of Innovation, Microsoft." I smiled. I had sent Iris to Microsoft's innovation website the day after my dad fired me. What Dad and Michael didn't know was that, while they were trying to get a small deal with Microsoft, I had quietly built something much bigger, an AI system that solved the exact problems Microsoft was struggling with. My meeting with Sarah went better than I expected. She wasn't just interested, she was excited. "This is amazing, Jennifer," she said, going through the Iris demo. "You solved issues we've had for years. How big was your team?" "No team," I told her. "Just me coding between phone calls and meetings." Sarah looked shocked. "You built this while working as a receptionist?" "Sometimes the best ideas come from people who actually deal with the problems," I said. 2 weeks later, I got another email from her. This one made my heart race. "Jennifer, our CEO wants to see Iris in action. We're visiting Taylor Technologies next Thursday for their proposal meeting. Would you be willing to give a demo that day? It feels like the right moment. Sarah." I grinned as I replied. My dad and brother had no idea what was coming. The big day arrived. I wore a sharp charcoal suit, no more receptionist outfit. When I walked into the lobby at Taylor Technologies, the new receptionist, Lisa, didn't recognize me. "I'm here for the Microsoft meeting," I said.
She did a double take. "Oh,
"Miss Taylor, I didn't realize." "It's fine. I said, smiling. Then I heard voices coming from the conference room. Dad and Michael were walking with Microsoft's CEO and Sarah. They were deep in conversation until Dad saw me. Jennifer? What are you doing here? He asked, confused. Before I could reply, the CEO stepped forward and shook my hand. Miss Taylor, the woman of the hour. We're excited for your presentation. Dad looked stunned. Presentation? He asked. Sarah smiled at him. You didn't know? We're not here for your proposal. We're here to see Iris, your daughter's system. It was developed right here, wasn't it? I opened my laptop and walked into the conference room. The room went quiet as I connected my laptop to the screen. Michael shifted in his fancy chair. Dad looked like he didn't know what was happening. Iris, I said, is an AI system that changes the way companies handle customer service. But instead of telling you, let me show you. I launched the demo. The sleek interface of Iris filled the screen. For 3 years, I watched how our company handled customer calls, visitors, and internal communication. I saw problems and patterns no one else noticed because I was the one dealing with them every day. Microsoft CEO leaned in.
Go on, he said.
I showed them how Iris could understand customer needs, direct questions to the right team, and even prevent problems before they happened. Here's what Iris did using just 3 months of data from Taylor Technologies, I said, pulling up a graph. It reduced response times by 70% and raised customer satisfaction by 85%. Michael jumped in. That's impossible. You don't have access to our data. I smiled. Every customer call, complaint, and compliment came through the front desk. I didn't just have access. I collected the data myself. Sarah showed her CEO a tablet. She's right. We tested Iris last week. The results were better than anything we've seen. Dad finally spoke. You build all this while answering phones? During breaks, I said. Between meetings. While waiting for deliveries. All the times you thought I was just playing on my computer. I paused, letting my words sink in. It's amazing what you can do when no one's really watching. Microsoft's CEO stood up. Miss Taylor, we've heard enough. We'd like to make you an offer. He slid a folder across the table. I opened it and froze. It was a contract. Microsoft wanted to buy Iris for $120 million. They also wanted to hire me as their new head of AI innovation. The room exploded. Michael was stammering about loyalty and family. Dad just sat there in shock, staring at the papers. But what happened next proved that winning big sometimes means making hard choices. I closed my laptop and looked directly at my dad. Before anyone signs anything, I have a counteroffer. Dad looked up at me. His face showed pride, guilt, and fear all at once. I'd never seen that before. 3 years ago, you put me at the front desk to teach me humility, I said, pulling out a new set of documents. But what you really gave me was something more valuable. I learned how this company truly works from the inside out. I placed the papers on the table. Here's my offer. Don't sell Iris. Let's partner with Microsoft. We'll make Iris a joint venture, with me leading the team. The Microsoft CEO raised an eyebrow. Go on. Taylor Technologies has strong industry connections. Microsoft has the global reach and power. Together, we could make Iris the new standard in AI for business. Sarah did some quick math on her tablet. A partnership like this could make even more money than a simple buyout, especially in the long run. Dad picked up the proposal, his hand trembling slightly. You planned all this? I learned from you, I said. Always be ready with a backup plan. For the next 2 hours, we negotiated. When it was done, we had a deal. Iris would become its own company. Taylor Technologies and Microsoft would each own 40%. I would keep 20% and become the Chief Innovation Officer. After the Microsoft team left, promising to finalize the deal, Dad asked me to stay behind. Michael had already stormed out. He needed time to deal with the fact that his receptionist sister had just made the biggest deal in the company's history. Jen, Dad said, looking more thoughtful than ever. I owe you an apology. Actually, I said, you owe it to every receptionist, assistant, and employee we've overlooked. They all have good ideas. We just haven't been listening. Over the next year, everything changed. Taylor Technologies created a new program to encourage ideas from all employees, not just the top executives. Iris grew into a tool even better than I imagined, and it became the leading AI system for business. Even Michael came around. He admitted that his MBA hadn't taught him what was really happening on the front lines. Now, he runs our corporate strategy team, but every new manager has to spend their first month working at the front desk. We call it the Jennifer Protocol. Last week, I gave the graduation speech at MIT. My topic was Innovation from the Ground Up, Why Every Job Matters. Looking out at the students, I shared what I'd learned as just a receptionist. Real innovation doesn't care about your job title. It's about seeing problems and having the creativity to solve them. Dad was there in the front row, smiling proudly. These days, he listens more and assumes less. The results? Our company's stock has tripled, and employees are happier than ever. And me? I still keep a photo of my old front desk in my corner office. It reminds me that the best ideas don't always come from the top. They often come from the ground up. Sometimes they come from the person answering the phone. All it takes is someone willing to listen. Because I'm living proof, you should never underestimate just a receptionist.